Hello and welcome to new coverage of NextSim. Today I've got Łukasz with me from Nano Games. Łukasz, last year we already saw HTC, the game. Tell us once again, what is it about?
So Heavy Duty Challenge, or HDC, is a game about off-road track trials. We were inspired by Europa Track Trial, a real league, a real championship that has been going on for over 30 years. And we took that idea of a sport where people drive big trucks in off-road and we put it into a game.
Really nice. Well, last year you already showed us first footage where we seen trucks, we seen in canyon level, and well, it's now a year has passed. What you've guys been working on? What's the new content you actually have for HTC?
Well, first of all, there's more of what you've already seen. There's more trucks. Levels. We strive for authenticity, so we work with the teams from the championship. We get the photos of the trucks to make them look realistic, but we also recorded sounds with the teams in the trucks, from the sound of the engine to the sound of buttons in the cabin. So that is covered, and we also took a lot of technical information from them. So we want the trucks to drive really well. In our realistic physics model, we need realistic parameters of the trucks, so we did that too. We now have 9 trucks, but we will have even more. And we have new levels, which we also base on real locations. We traveled to some places where the championship takes place. For example, recently to France, to Montalier-Versières, where they have like the biggest championship of all. And we've also went to some other places, like for example Iceland, that I personally really want to see in the game because it's a beautiful place and a great place to drive on rocks and so on. So these are a few of the changes that have happened recently.
Really cool. You've talked about you've got more and more trucks. So the trucks in HTC are really diverse. We're talking about smaller trucks to bigger trucks. What is the smallest truck you would say you can drive in the game, and what is like the beast in that game?
Right, so well, we have 3 categories of trucks: 2-axle trucks, 3-axle trucks, and 4-axle trucks. So the smallest ones, the 2 axles, are Unimogs, or there's an Avia, IFA, a couple of different brands. Then you go to the 3-axle tracks, which are bigger and more powerful. And we have a Steyr, an MAN, a Ural, and a Zeal. And then you go to like the biggest ones, Mercedes-Benz and MAN 4-axle tracks, which are really powerful, huge, and really amazing.
Crazy. You're talking about a lot of licenses. These licenses are all in that game, right?
Yeah, the game has a license from Europa Track Trial, which means we use real, authentic, original tracks from the championship with, you know, the brands and so on. And well, in the 30 years of this sport, they've had like 200 different teams, so we really have like a big catalog to choose from. But the 12 tracks that we want to start with are the ones I talked about.
Nice. So walk us once through the game. Will I be in a free drive? Will it be more of a campaign mode? Will there be different modes? What is the challenge of the player? What is the, well, it is to drive the truck, I believe, in that canyon or other level, but how do I score points? What are the actual challenges and how do I progress overall?
Right, so the game is divided into championships, and each championship consists of a few levels, locations, or as we call them, events. So you go to an event and you drive on a couple of obstacle courses, which we call sections, like in track trials. And there you get points. Well, the main goal is to go through gates from start to finish, and you can make some errors. You know, you can drive over a gate pole.
I will make for sure some errors, I believe.
Yeah, but you know, you can get better and better in the game. You start with the simple championships, and you get to the difficult ones later. But you know, you get the points you can get penalty points for like changing the direction of driving or stopping for too long if you get stuck because you weren't careful, or you get points for stuff like that. And then when you finish the whole event, well, we check your score and you earn money to use to buy trucks, repair your truck, because we introduced a damage system. So you know, as you drive, your car systems get damaged, and weird stuff happens, like your engine can stop running, or your tire can flatten and stuff like that. So you can repair it using the money, but you can also upgrade your truck, install something new to make it stronger, and so on. So it's more like a career mode. Really. So you go from championship to championship, getting better, earning money, getting better tracks, or developing the ones.
And hopefully someone reaching the lead of the scoreboard, I believe.
Yeah, of course. We want to have a leaderboard, so the player can compare their scores to their friends or to strangers around the world, and just show everyone that they are the best and they have the best scores. But you know, that's like one way we want people to have fun with the game. There's another one. We will have an in-game editor for levels. So you know,
modding is part of the game. I was about to ask that. I mean, there are so many simulation games, but the really ones that stand out are about modding. People want to create their content, and having these canyons and having these obstacles, it would be crazy to have modding and place new objects. Yeah. What would it look like?
Right, so what we want to do is have an in-game editor, not a separate program, but do it inside the game. So, you know, you're driving a level and you feel something's off, I don't know. Well, it seems too easy because you're a real master, or it's a little too hard because you're a beginner. Then you get into the edition mode. You can change the level, you know, you can throw out obstacles, put in new ones, whatever you want. You save it as a new level, and now you have a completely new level to have fun with. But, you know, if it's really good, you just publish it, and people can download it and see your mod and compete there. So we want players to, first of all, have a new way to have fun with the game, its edition, but also to share it, to, you know, for the community around the game to grow based on what they create together.
That sounds amazing. I believe all that really requires skill and understanding of the machine, of the vehicle. will I need to be an expert in the sports or something like that, or will there be tutorials that cover? And I mean, I've been driving once in real life these trucks.
Right.
I had the pleasure to, and I remember there were like differential locks and all these different buttons that you need to understand to handle these kinds of machines. Will there be something like a school or something like that?
Yeah, so of course, when you start the game, you start with a tutorial, a driving school level. It's what we called it. So this is a chance for you to learn how to use all those mechanisms that you mentioned. You know, first of all, there's obvious things like changing gears and understanding how to do it so that you really go over the difficult obstacles. But then there is the differential lock, which is like a mechanism used in off-road driving to get to control which wheels get the power and when, to try to put it simply. So this is like a crucial part of the game, but I think our tutorial will allow you to understand how to use it correctly and then use it in the proper championship.
Nice. So that's a really big thing overall. You will for sure support wheels and controller, I believe, right?
Yeah, of course. We already introduced into the game support for the most popular wheel controllers, specifically from Logitech or Thrustmaster, but we will also have the game recognize that you've plugged in something less popular, and you will be able to customize the buttons and the controls as you like. This is a really important feature for us. You know, a lot of people want to play driving games with a wheel controller, so this is covered and it's in the game.
Absolutely, absolutely. Wheel controllers are covered. How about controller, like gaming controllers?
Yeah, of course. You know, gaming controllers are also very popular, and well, what is important, the game will not only be on PC, it will also be on the consoles.
Oh, that's something really interesting, because I think last year we still plan to have it on PC only. You think it comes for console? Which consoles will be covered?
So we're porting the game to PS5 and new Xboxes, and we will release the game on all the platforms together.
Oh, so people can play on, well, all current platforms the game. Will they be able to share the mods, or will that be like PC exclusive?
Yeah, we will be able to share the mods, you know, between the platforms, which is also, I think, quite important that, you know, it doesn't really matter what kind of hardware you use. You can play the game the same way and have fun with it.
And compete to each other,
oh,
try
yeah,
to beat, or is it beating the score, or is it setting up on the score? I'm not quite sure what's the better way in HTC.
If you're really good, you set the score and everybody has to try to beat you. I think that's the goal.
That's right, that's right. Yeah, fantastic news about HTC, but more or less the most important questions is, like we've seen nice footage. It looks really, really far into the development, nearly close actually. When can people get their hands on HTC?
Right, well, we still have some work ahead of us, and we will release the game end of this year, beginning of next year. You know, we, except from doing that on all the platforms we talked about, we will add a lot of cool stuff, including, you know, visual effects, more sound effects, stuff like that. So I think the game will look really great and will be fun to play.
It already does, and it's
Thank
really challenging, I have to say. Yes, that sounds great. I guess we got it mostly covered. If you're interested into HTC, definitely check out the Steam page. Feel free to wishlist the game and don't miss any update about HTC. Well, Łukasz, thanks for your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks for the updates about HTC, and hopefully next year you come around with some new content for HTC then.
Yeah, I'm sure I will.
Thanks.
Thank you.
If you liked that video, feel free to like, subscribe and leave a comment, and watch the other NextSim videos.